Hi, I'm Christian Campana of OhioFestivals.net, and I'm here to present you with the June festival announcements. How I'm going to basically do this is do it weekend by weekend, just like I did last month, and I'll try to put in the corner of the screen which weekend it is, so you can sort of jump forward in the video to find what weekend you're looking for. The festivals I'm going to talk about are festivals that I've already been to and have reviewed, which you can find at OhioFestivals.net. Look to either the archive page or you can look at the schedule page, and next to it there should be a review link, and you can read about it there. I'll also mention a few festivals for each weekend that either seem interesting or that I plan to go to, just for interest. But always look back to the Ohio Festival schedule page, where there are tons more, if that's even correct, festivals available to go through and check, because I can only cover so many. Okay, so let's begin. I have to sort of use this sheet. For the weekend of Friday, the June 1st through Sunday, June 3rd, the two festivals to consider are the Columbus Arts Festival, which is a pretty sizable festival with a bunch of great artists and things to check out, and vendors, bands, that sort of thing. And they had I know they had bad weather last year, but hope that it should be fine this year. It'd be good. Another festival is the Troy Strawberry Festival, that right off 75. Here they have all local food booths. Basically, organizations get together and they have some kind of either strawberry product, and they have a lot of various vendors and things. They're really famous for their strawberry donuts, which to me sort of tastes like Frankenberry cereal. I mean, they're good, but that's what they remind me of. My favorite thing, I think, was the battered, deep-fried strawberries. I think there's even a kind of sauce that they put on it. It was really good. But there's also variations. I think they have strawberry nachos and strawberries on a stick, strawberry salsa, which you can buy as well, and that sort of thing. So it's pretty good. Um, the second weekend from June 8th to the 10th, some festivals that I've been to are the White House Cherry Fest, that's near Toledo. Uh, the main cherry thing I remember was cherry pie, sold, I believe, either in the firehouse or by the fire department or something along those lines. Not a lot of cherry items. That was the main thing I remember, was just the pie, and but there are rides and local vendors, and it's White House is a cute town. Also known for, there's a place in town known for prime rib, so something to consider. The Pork Rind Festival in Harrod, not too far from Lima. This is a small. This is in town now. Rudolph Foods, I believe. They make pork rinds. This is a small festival. Don't expect quite a bit, but there is a booth just for the pork rinds, and they have like cracklins and other things, and you could try them as well. And the pork rinds are really good. If you like pork rinds, it's definitely worth checking out, especially if you're near the area. If you don't, if you're not sure, I know my wife didn't really care for them, so that's something also to consider. But I really found I really like pork rinds. Uh, the Riverfront Irish Festival in Cuyahoga Falls is also this weekend. A lot of the festivals in Cuyahoga Falls, they take place right there in that sort of pedestrian shopping area, and they're usually made up sort of the same as far as which vendors they have. It's usually, like when I went last year, it's a collection. It wasn't, obviously it's not going to be strictly Irish, but it seemed like the same sort of Italian and general food fare with maybe a little more extra Irish. There are some Irish vendors though, and there is a lot of Irish music, so it's a cute festival. Um, and there are a decent amount of Irish vendors to try Irish fare, so I'm not trying to make you think it's not Irish enough. But I know I did hear some complaints last year about that, so I just thought I'd bring that up. Um, and finally, the Yellow Springs Street Fair. This happens twice a year. Both times are one-day events, and I went to the fall version last year, and it's a really big festival. as far as a lot of vendors and a lot of stores to check out. It has a very hippie sort of flair to it, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great, and a lot of great vendors and just a lot of great people and different people playing in the streets and stuff around the sidewalks and food and so forth. So I'm a big fan of Yellow Springs, and going there made me really want to go back and visit at a different time. Other festivals to check out this weekend that I haven't been, or this particular weekend that I haven't been to, the Greek Summerfest in Canton. I've been hearing a lot of things about that. The Banana Split Festival in Wilmington, which for some reason I keep having to miss it each year. Someday I'll get there. And the Poultry Days in Versailles, if that's how it's pronounced, in Ohio. So those seem interesting to me. Okay, the third weekend between June 15th to the 17th. Different festivals include the Bolivar Strawberry Festival, which is a cute festival right off of 77 near Zoar and not too far from Dover. You get some fresh local strawberries. They have deep fried strawberries, and there are a few different. I believe there was another big strawberry booth around there, and they divide the vendors based on local, and then they put sort of like your carnival fair food sort of to the side. So there are a lot of local restaurants and stuff to try, and it's a cute, quaint festival. Definitely worth checking out, especially if it's a good weather day just to hang out and see that. Um, there's the Dean Martin Festival in Steubenville, where Dean Martin was born and raised. This is an interesting festival because it doesn't all take place in one spot. The spot bar is one place where a lot of the activities occur, such as the meatball eating contest, some great bands, look-alike competitions, I believe they are, and so forth. And Deanna Martin, his daughter, is around appearing at different localities. I met her at the Fort Steuben. I think she was doing a book signing at the time. And Steubenville is also a rather interesting city just to drive around and check out the murals. There's the big Dean Martin mural at the Kroger's building. So if you are in town, go and check that. Down the street from the Spot Bar, I believe it's like 4th Street. Don't quote me on that. There is also a Greek festival going on at the same time. So if you're not much into Italian food, you can go eat Greek. And of course, if you end up finding yourself at the Greek festival, you can always go to the Italian. In Columbus, there are two festivals that are pretty big. One is the Pride Festival, which takes place at Goodale Park. And last year they had like a riding bull, and they sort of had bad weather too at one point, now that I remember. They have a big Ferris wheel. I believe it's called a Ferry wheel. And but it's a really cool festival, great people, everyone's really friendly. It feels sort of actually like family oriented. I saw a lot of families there actually, and it's a nice time. And there's also the Juneteenth festival, which takes place in Franklin Park, and this is to celebrate the symbolic the freedom of slaves when Abraham Lincoln made a declaration. Um, and I believe it was 1880 or 1862 because it was symbolic freedom. Read the post and get a little more insight. So basically, it's a celebration of the African American culture, and so therefore a lot of interesting cultural booths and some great food and everything. I think I had a sweet potato cookie that the someone made, and I think I had some cupcakes too, actually, of all things, last year. So that was pretty good as well. Music, entertainment, and many other cool things. In Avon, you have a particular duct tape festival, and they make sculptures out of duct tape, clothing, and so forth. Make sure you check out the booth. There's not a booth, but a tent, and they have boxes, kits, basically, that are free to use duct tape and make your own wallet and whatnot. But you do have to make them in the tent so that you're not just like running off with like 50 boxes of kits and stuff to resell. Um, the traditional fair food and a decent amount of rides. It's in Veterans Park in Avon. and definitely worth checking out. The same weekend is the Festival of the Fish in Vermilion, down just off of downtown Vermilion. And here they have, I believe it's St. Mary's, they have some fish fry, and there might be one other booth that sells fish. Otherwise, it's basically a town festival. There might be sort of a flea market on the side. And Vermilion itself is sort of a cute town, so it is worth checking out. And there's the Clifton Art and Music Fest in Cleveland, with some great artists, music, and the Clifton, that area at least, is pretty cool to check out. Festivals to mention, the Summer Solstice Lavender Festival in Martinsville, and the Worthington Art Festival, neither of which I've been to. The fourth weekend, 22nd to 24th, we have ComFest in Columbus, which is a huge hippie fest. 6 musical stages, beer galore. They usually have like new cups each year. Great people, art cars. Women get their breasts painted and put little pasties on their, or did I say nipples? Well, their breasts painted and pasties on their nipples. So uh, something for everyone to see, I guess. But it's one of my favorite festivals, so I really encourage everyone to go. There was a Druid booth a few years back, and they had ceremonies. I missed the ceremonies, but I can't say enough about ComFest, which is short for Community Fest, and it's for the people. So I'm a big promoter. Lorraine International. I was born and raised in Lorraine, and so I grew up with this festival, and it takes place on the okay, now I'm going to Port Black River Landings, I believe it's called. And basically, it's a series of booths, each one represented by a different culture, and they're basically selling food of that particular culture. Noted foods are cabbage and noodles, some Puerto Rican foods, including rellenos de papas, which are like stuffed potato balls, and pastelillos, which are like these meat pies. Sometimes they have bits of potato in them, sometimes they don't. Um, and so if it's a good festival to go with a group and to share food, so you get a little bit of everything. In Cleveland, there's the Larchmere Porch Fest, which is basically in the community, like the sort of the community on Larchmere, or off of Larchmere, and there's designated houses where different bands play at these designated houses, different types of music, folk, rock, jazz, so forth. And there's maps, so you can go get it from an information booth and run, with the schedule, so you can find which house is what and run back and forth to it. You could also rent a bike for $5 to get you around a little faster. There was a house that was selling food last year in the front lawn, but it is a very non-traditional festival as far as vendors and so forth. Cleveland Pride is also going on. This takes place in Voinovich Park in downtown Cleveland, near the Rock Hall. And basically, I made it towards the end of this festival, so I didn't really see a lot of it. But it was basically sort of lines of different organizations, and there was like a beer garden area. There was a different section for food as well. Not as big as the Columbus's. But decent, something to support, if you're from the Cleveland area. And finally, there's for this weekend the Gene Autry Days, which is it's in Kenton. And basically, the story goes that Gene Autry gave one of his guns to the toy company in Kenton, which reproduced the gun for kids and basically saved the town. This is more of a trade show type of festival. It's all indoors. It was in the county fairgrounds, and they sell food sort of cafeteria style, maybe school cafeteria. And they have a stage, and there's some lookalikes you take pictures with, and there are a lot of novelty items and historic things. But it is different than your sort of traditional festival. Weekend mentions are the Ohio Scottish Games in Wellington, and the Maria Stein Country Fest in Maria Stein, if that's pronounced correctly. And finally, there's just a lot of festivals this month. I'm sorry. Um, the weekend of the 29th to July 1st. And this weekend we have the Ashland Balloon Fest, which is the only balloon fest I've been to so far. But there's a good number of balloons and sort of like it's sort of basically a field with both sides having vendors. There were animals that you check out, and they had a hot balloon lift. There in Canton, there's the Italian American Festival, and here they had a bocce tournament. They had um, games, rides, all that sort of thing. And of course, now that I have to think about this, I believe this is the festival where if you paid admission, with your admission, the rides were included in it. So you could ride as many rides as you wanted after paying. I think the admission was $5. But definitely check the review on that. I'm almost positive. Yeah, I think also your ticket gets you into a raffle to win money, so that could be worth it too if you're a gambler. And I think there's gambling now that I think about it. Read the review. I might read the review after this video. Uh, and then there's also Waterloo Arts Fest, which takes place in the old Collinwood area of Cleveland. And there's basically food trucks, but there were also some other food vendors. Um, Performances. I saw belly dancers. There was this giant weird dude on stilts, and what else was there? There was an art thing going on. John Carroll University's radio station was giving away free CDs they weren't using anymore, and I really did like this festival. It goes decent length down the street, and a lot of cool things to check out. And the local stores, there's a yo-yo place and a Cleveland clothing place, the t-shirts and stuff, and all that sort of thing. So definitely worth checking out. And then the festival mentioned is Cincinnati Gay Pride, which I've never been to, but it seems like it'd be pretty cool. And so, if you got through all that, hopefully you jumped around. Please look at the schedule to see everything that's there. I update it as often as I can, or once I hear something. It's a big festival month, so go out, have fun. Google Map some of these places if you're unfamiliar with them. They might be a lot closer to you than you think. Um, and that's all. If you have any festivals that aren't listed on the festival schedule, you could email me at christian@ohiofestivals.net. So thanks a lot. Thanks for watching this video, and have a great month. Okay, see you next month.